Good morning, boys and girls, from Black Powder headquarters and the Bojangles studio high on Sassafras Mountain. CDA presents Real Tree Radio. Welcome to a brand new, unused Saturday morning. Good morning, boys and girls, from the Black Powder headquarters and the Bojangles studio high in the mountains of North Georgia. O'Neill Outside presents Real Tree Radio. Welcome to a brand new, unused Saturday morning. And a great weekend it will be. It's summertime. Make the best of it. Spend Labor Day. We got 3 days. Labor Day weekend with your family in the outdoors. And here's a tip. I'm going to start off with a tip. Woman Williams is here. That's not the tip. Yeah, yes, she is. Okay, that's not the tip. The tip is this. For you to spend some outdoor time with your family, you do not need to go fishing. You do not need to go hunting. You do not need to go camping. Just go for a hike, and here's the best way to make the hike and your visit to the outdoors the best. Be quiet. Walk into the woods, find a nice place to sit down, be sure and you have some insect repellent, and shut up. Be quiet. Stop walking. And in just a very few minutes, the outdoor world will wake up around you. The sounds and the movement of the critters in the outdoors. Okay, it's my pleasure to invite you to watch O'Neill Outside television today on Fox Sports South Sun, Fox Sports Southeast, Fox Sports Phoenix, the Pursuit Channel, the Hunt Channel, Tough TV, and on and on and on. And today's subject is a deer hunt with my 18-year-old grandson, in which he took me and showed me where and how to hunt on a particular couple of days. Might be a little bit revealing. Let's see how he has learned. It's a little bit after 8 a.m. So we're going to look at the Zach Brown guest book when we return, because I would like for you to win a knife, and I'll provide the way for you to do that. And we'll be back. Let's see, do I have time for this? I do not have time for anything else except the telephone numbers. 404-872-0750, 800-972-82554. O'Neill Outside, the number one live outdoor-based radio talk show in the world, and you're part of it, and we'll be back. It's 12 after the hour on O'Neill Outside, and it's time for the Dodge Ram Mac Farr Fishing Report. Good morning, Mac. Let me cue you up here if I ever knew how to operate the screen here. There we are, Mac. What do you say, pal? I'm okay. It's still summertime. Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, boy, you got it going on. Okay. Exactly right. There you go. I remember. I remember years ago. I just had it for a few weeks there one time, and I don't know how I had the time to do it, but I would deer hunt in the morning and then fish at Oconee during the day, and then deer hunting in the afternoon. I thought it was paradise, and it was. That's right. There's no problem there, was it? Yeah, no kidding.
Pretty long day, but
Yeah,
that's a
that's
good
right.
day. Yeah, I like that.
Sure enough.
So there you go, everybody. There's your agenda for the next few weeks. As soon as deer come in, we got it figured out.
All right, let me ask you one thing about this deep bite that may that for those who haven't done it a great deal. Let's talk about this. This deep bite, this 45, 50, 60, 70, 80 foot bite. Does color make a difference? Oh, boy.
That's a really good question. And if you ask 10 anglers that, you'd probably get 10 different answers.
Mm-hmm.
I think when you start getting past 40, 50 feet, I think color becomes less of an issue. I think sight is the last sense that the fish uses down there. I think he's using his lateral line, his sense of feel, and homes in on it, and he sees it at the last minute. And even then, I question, at that depth, what holds its color. It never hurts to play with that, but my answer is I'm more worried about size and profile and action of the bait than I am color at that point. And I'm talking about really deep, 50 plus. Now, on the other side of 50, I think color can make a difference. Absolutely.
I think so too, but I wanted to address that so it would come from you, because I think there's a limit to that color and as to the depth of your of the school of fish in its effectiveness. I think it's the motion.
Yes. Water displacement motion. And, I see it all the time when we're pulling umbrellas. You can switch the trailer on the umbrella, which is when you want to change colors with an umbrella, you don't need to change the jig. The trailers, the plastics do that quickly and inexpensively. So that's where you get your color. But we change colors if maybe it's really bright and it gets overcast or starts raining, we switch to a different color. And you can see a difference. But, again, you're talking about less than 50 feet, probably more like 30. So I just question what they can see, or I would say the colors that they can distinguish in the really deep water become a very narrow scope because nothing holds its color down there because of the lack of light. So I would be more worried about size or type, like maybe switching from a spoon to a shad body or vice versa to try and get a different effect. But that's my take on that.
Yeah, that's good.
That's
great report, Mac.
Yep. Well, we appreciate it as always. Everybody get out there. We got a long weekend, some extra fishing and hunting time. Enjoy it. Looks like we got good weather. Be safe, have fun, catch fish.
That's right. You listen to the dogs while you fish.
Oh yeah, we didn't even mention that big weekend. We got some football going on, so a lot of good stuff, man.
You betcha. Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, I'm excited. Absolutely. I'm going to enjoy it. I hope everybody else does.
You bet. Catch you later, pal.
Thanks, O'Neill.
You bet. See you soon. Okay. Woman Williams, do we have anything from Facebook this morning? Else?
No, sir. It's been a bit quiet.
Oh, well, no kidding. Well, in the fourth quarter of this year and then into next year, O'Neill Outside Radio will be on some of the video-on-demand networks. Ooh. As soon as I finish this right here, then, this little subject, I would like to do words of wisdom because people love words of wisdom. But as you prepare for that, I'm going to tell everyone that they can go to o'neilloutside.com. O'neilloutside.com. Right on the home page, two things. Number one, then you'll have the online store. And in the online store, you can purchase the O'Neill Outside People and Places Along the Way book. And as you buy it online from the store, I will personalize that book. I will sign your name and autograph the book and send it to you. Pretty good deal. Number two, on the home page, you have the Zach Brown guest book. The Zach Brown guest book, in which you can leave a comment, a question, an observation there at the guest book, and if we use your contribution, we use what you wrote to us, then on the television show, then we'll send you the knife. And here are some examples. From Charles Belescado in Shawnee, Michigan. Do you think global warming is changing hunting and fishing, and should hunters change also? It won't be in my lifetime. Geologic change is occurring. I personally do not believe that humans have enough to do with it to make any difference whatsoever. So, my practices will not change according to the observations of the climate change folks. No. Ethan Jones from Mesa, Arizona. I'm a recent father of 2 boys, and we're going to move to Texas. My question is, should we buy land to teach the boys how to hunt and about the outdoors, or do you think it would be safe enough and enjoyable enough for them to just hunt on public land we can find? There's millions of acres of public land in Texas for you to avail yourself so that you can be safe and hunt public land in Texas. Same as Georgia, same as Alabama. There's plenty of public land, but you have to manage your visit to public land, go during the week, and hunt late into the season, and hunt a long way from the road. Everybody else hunts weekends. They hunt close to the road, okay? So don't do that. There are plenty of safe places to hunt in Texas and in Georgia. Let's see, it's 20, almost 20, okay, out at 22. I don't have time for, let's see if I've got time for another question. I just started to teach my grandsons about gun safety and good hunting rules. Do you think it's better to start with small game? From Anthony Gaskrodowski in Phoenix, Arizona, yes, start with small game. It's the same target. You have to learn about the game, whether the game weighs 3 ounces or 200 pounds. The more you know, the more effective and more enjoyment you can have in the outdoors as a hunter or as a fisherman. We got to get out of here now. At 25 after the hour, in 3 minutes, we'll have the Silent Hero Award, and we'll be back. Lewisville, Texas, August 16, 2018. Apartment fire. Firefighters were aware when they arrived that the woman was trapped on the 2nd floor, where the worst part of the flames were, because she was on the phone already with 911. The firefighters said they were forced to pull the woman through a window because the flames were so strong. Quote, "It's a rarity. It actually happens." Lewisville Fire Battalion Chief David Pennington said, "We do the practice so that when it does happen, we're ready for the game day." Firefighters Colton Spawn and Captain Brian Staten were the first firefighters to scale the ladder to reach the woman. "I went in head first through the window," Spawn said. "My first reaction was just kind of gathering my thoughts. This is what I need to do. I don't know the layout of the room. I don't know what's in the room. I don't know where the furniture is or if she's even in there for sure." The woman was found unconscious on the floor. Waiting outside the window to pull her through on a stretcher was the second fireman. "Every second that goes by, it's affecting our or her outcome long term," Spawn said. We made the contact and moved as fast as we could. The woman is currently in a medically induced coma, but the firefighters are hoping she will make a full recovery. We pray for her and hope she recovers. We'd love to see her one day if that's the case. Staten was also injured in the fire, but he has since returned home and is recovering. Silent heroes no one would have ever heard about.
That's right.
You bet.
And they practice that every day.
Absolutely.
They have to
give
stay on top of the
themselves
game.
up. They give themselves up
Heroes.
as heroes. And here is a hero, Hank the Yank. What do you say?
Well, you know,
Hard to follow,
being
isn't it?
from Brooklyn, being from Brooklyn, New York, the only hero I would be like a chicken parmesan hero.
You've always got a comeback. It's unbelievable.
Oh my goodness!
I had
How
a
are you
call.
guys
I had a
this morning?
call earlier, Henry, and I thought of you because the guy is really upscaling his fishing, and he is tying his
Okay.
own flies now.
How about that? How about that? Well, you know, that's I will just tell you, you know, one of the thrills of fly fishing is eventually, if you decide to get into tying, is to be able to go out and take what eventually started as just a bare bones hook, put it in a vise, dress it with some feathers, and actually fool a fish to think that it's actually something that it normally eats.
Yes.
That's pretty much of that's a great thrill.
What's the name of the most famous fly?
The most famous fly are we talking streamer or are we talking
I don't know.
trout?
You pick it. What are the names of some of the famous flies?
Well, you know, for fishing on the surface for trout, it's kind of hard to beat a parachute Adams. And they call it a parachute because of the way the fly is tied with a post on the top. It sticks up in the air, and then you twist the feathers. Instead of the feathers coming up vertically, the feather is actually wrapped around the fly horizontally, and it allows the fly to sit up high in the water.
Okay.
So that's one of the most famous trout flies. Also, obviously, if you're going to go subsurface, I would say a woolly booger is one that everybody has heard about, and it's nothing more than a small streamer that's supposed to reflect looking like either a crawfish or maybe a very small dace kind of or a chub kind of a fish, a little bait fish. So that's another one. In saltwater, the two most famous flies are obviously a clouser minnow, which is a fly fisherman's bucktail jig, and which, you know, if you're a conventional angler, you wouldn't think of going fishing without a bucktail jig.
Correct.
So that's what we use in lieu of a bucktail jig to be able to cast for a fly. It's called a clouser minnow, designed by a guy by the name of Bob Clouser, who's still alive.
Oh.
That fly has probably caught more species of fish in the world than any other fly.
Or what?
And then,
All right, let me interrupt
and-
and ask you, what is the name, or else I'll forget. What's the name of the fly that you use for tarpon?
well, for tarpon, you know, there's a number of them. The Gary Merriman, actually, from the Fish Hawk here locally in Atlanta,
Oh.
designed a fly about 15 years ago that has become probably the most renowned tarpon fly there is in the last 20 years. It's called the tarpon toad. And Gary Merriman from the Fish Hawk designed that fly. And then there's a lot of other flies. You know, there's just O'Neill, there's so many. There's the cockroach from Stu Apt that he designed. There's a lot of really good flies. And then obviously one of my all-time favorites is Lefty's Deceiver, designed in the 1960s from Lefty Cray, which is just taking feather and bucktail and imitating a bait fish. And so, you know, there's a lot of really cool flies, you know, that are out there. And if you ask me today what the hottest fly is,
Yeah.
that everybody is trying to tie and learn to tie, it's by a very dear friend of mine up in Virginia named Blaine Chocolate. He ties a fly called a Game Changer.
Okay.
And it's for lack of a better term, it's a sabile. You know what a sabile magic
Yes.
swimmer is? A very an articulated, jointed bait, and that's what this fly does. And it looks, when you strip it in with your hand, thing looks like it's alive and moving in the water. It really looks like a bait fish in the water. It's pretty incredible.
I got you.
So those are
Well,
probably the flies that we all know about the most.
Well, I wanted to go through the names. I think they're all great names.
They're all good names. They're
Yeah.
and even your favorite financial advisor
Yes.
has a fly out there that he calls the BC minnow, which stands for the bead chain minnow because he ties it on bead chain. Good old Fluffy has
Uh-huh.
flies that are now commercially tied across the United States.
Oh, no kidding.
So if you're worried about why you're not making any money with him, it's probably because he's sitting at the vise tying too many
Yeah.
flies.
I think they call it. You call it the fluffy minnow.
The fluffy minnow. That's what we should call it.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, those are some of the flies. But hey, by the way, I was down. I had a trip this past week. I was down on the Carp Flats, and what's really amazing this year, just really, really quickly, is that the stripers should be gone from the river by now, and the carp should be pretty much off the flats, being harassed all summer by paddlers and boaters, and yet both fisheries down the Chattahoochee River are fishing really, really well and really late into the season.
Mm-hmm.
So for no other reason, if you're not sure what to do on Labor Day weekend, I would suggest a trip to the Carp Flats down the Hooch by Roswell, or below Morgan Falls Dam all the way through the city of Atlanta. You can striper fish. There's still plenty of stripers in the river to be caught.
Fantastic.
And that's what I would be. That would be top of the list for this weekend. Lanier, Lanier, the fish are very, very scattered still. They're high, they're low, they're all over the place. They're probably 4 weeks away from that fishery to firing up really, the top water bite to start firing up. And
we'll get to it.
All right, well, listen. Give me a go dog, sick 'em, woof, woof, woof. There you go.
I want you to know my alma mater is still undefeated.
The Eagles.
Yes. The Emory Eagles are undefeated.
The Emory Eagles. I actually met a gentleman who actually played football for the Eagles back in 1942.
Oh my goodness.
Last year, I think they had a football team.
Yeah.
But anyway, they still have a baseball team, don't they?
They still do, I think. They got the baseball team after
too.
I left. After I graduated, they had a baseball team. I would have liked to have played.
I think they have a baseball team. I think they have a swimming team.
That is correct. And intercollegiate
For
soccer.
God's sake. And I know, for Pete's sakes, I know they have a chess team.
Say again?
They have a chess team.
Oh, get out of town. I'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye. Have you got time for words of wisdom?
It's up to you.
Go.
Oh. Okay.
Words of wisdom from Woman Williams. You got 90 seconds.
Okay. A bicycle can't stand alone. It's too tired. A will is a dead giveaway. And this one is my absolute favorite of the week, and I got this from my brother-in-law off of Facebook. Statistics say that 6 out of 7 dwarfs are not happy. There you go. Think about that.
Where do you find those things?
Well, internet is where you find everything.
Yeah. I like the one from 2 weeks ago.
What?
That baseball was getting bigger, then it hit me.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that because I almost did that one today. I evidently didn't mark it off my list.
Yeah, that baseball's getting bigger, then it hit me.
But I love the happy one.
Yeah.
6 out of 7. Let's see. How did that go?
6 out of 7 dwarfs are not happy.
Statistics say that 6 out of 7 dwarfs are not happy. They also aren't. 6 out of 7 aren't Snoopy.
Aren't what?
Snoopy.
Oh, God. Okay. We got to get out of here for a break. It's 37 after the hour, and upon our return, we will have the Medal of Honor tribute. We'll be back.
Is there one named Snoopy? Dwarf?
No.
Okay. Sleepy. Okay, that one too.
Yeah. Dwayne Williams, Private, First Class, Marine Corps, Vietnam, September 1968. Williams was a member of a combat patrol sent out from the platoon with a mission of establishing positions in the company's area of operations from which it could intercept and destroy enemy sniper teams operating in the area. In the night, as the patrol was preparing to move from its daylight position to a pre-selected night position, it was attacked from ambush by a squad of enemy using small arms and hand grenades. Although severely wounded in the back by the close intensive fire, Private First Class Williams, recognizing the danger to his patrol, immediately began to crawl forward toward a good firing position. While he was moving under the continuing intense fire, he heard one of the members of the patrol sound the alert that an enemy grenade had landed in their position. And you're about to know what he did. Reacting instantly to the alert, he saw that the grenade had landed close to where he was lying, and without hesitation, in a valiant act of heroism, rolled on top of the grenade as it exploded, absorbing the full and tremendous impact of the explosion with his body. Through his extraordinary initiative and inspiring valor in the face of certain death, he saved the other members of his patrol from serious injury and possible loss of life, and enabled them to successfully defeat the attackers and hold their position until assistance arrived. His personal heroism and devotion to duty upheld the highest traditions of the Marine Corps and the U.S. Naval Service. He gallantly gave his life for his country.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay, 42 after the hour. This is O'Neill with O'Neill Outside. This is an outdoor program. Sometimes we get away from it, but it's entertaining, I hope, and sometimes if you listen to the program from the telephone calls of my guests, you may learn something or be encouraged or reminded about hunting and fishing and the joy therein and how to carry on that with your family and learn more about the outdoors.
About somebody like Dwayne Williams.
Yes.
We probably would not know that unless you bought that book and read it.
Yes.
It's nice to remember these people.
Uh-huh. These
heroes.
These are true heroes. And not to take away from anybody of recent publicity and fame. They got enough congratulatory remarks.
Mm-hmm.
It's time for that to end, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
If you know what I mean.
Probably do.
Okay. Nice to set aside politics for a weekend. Enjoy the time with your family. It's 43 after the hour, 404-872-0750-800-972-8255. O'Neill Outside. People and places along the way. An observance of observations, stories, family, friends, adventures, all chronicled in a book along with some terrific Big Green Egg recipes. You can locate the book at Amazon.com, and you can get an e-version, a printed version, and in the next couple of days, an Audible, which I will read the book to you. You can also get that book at O'Neill Outside, the store, the online store. You can get signed hats and the book, and when you purchase the book online at o'neilloutside.com, the online store, I will personalize the book for you and will autograph the book and send it to you personally. Yes, ma'am.
This is Labor Day weekend.
Yes.
People are going to be on the water.
Oh.
On the lake.
Mm-hmm.
Just a reminder. Take your trash home with you when you leave at the end of the weekend. And remember that alcohol and gasoline don't mix very well. They do not.
No. When you leave the ramp, it should look better than when you got there.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And another little ramp thing here, and that is you don't outfit the boat at the ramp. You outfit the boat with food and beverages and life preservers and be prepared to put the boat in before you get to the ramp. You don't load the boat while it's sitting at the ramp.
Because you're holding up other people.
And you betcha. And I tell you that some of these old bass tournament boys, they'll get upset if you pack the boat out while you're sitting at the ramp.
They're just novices. They need to learn.
Yeah.
That's why they should listen to you.
I remember that. Saw a photo that a fellow had backed his truck in, and his wife was driving the boat, a pleasure boat, driving the boat up on the trailer, and he was screaming at her to, throttle up, give it gas, get it up on the trailer. And she had had enough of it. She floored that thing and drove the boat up into the truck through the back window. She had, by God, that was enough.
That's fabulous.
Isn't that great?
I wonder if he got mad.
I don't know. I will confess, do I have time? I will confess that once upon a time when I was doing my tournament days, I put my boat in at a tournament with my partner and put the boat in and left the drain plug out.
Yes, you did.
And we got out there waiting for the blast off, and I realized that the boat was filling up with water. And so I raised my voice and got the attention of one of the other entrants putting his boat in, and I ran my boat up on his trailer.
Hold up
just
there.
a little bit, okay? I'll have to put that in the next book. I'm writing the next book, and Orville was the guy's name that was in the boat with me, and he said, "We're going down."
And he put his life jacket on upside down.
He put his life jacket on. He put it on upside down. We're going down, O'Neill. We're going down. No, we're not. I'm driving the boat up on the trailer.
How long did it take the water to drain out?
Quite a while. Good. We've been out there a while. We're going down. Oh boy, all the things that you can. I've made enough notes for the next book that I've made enough notes for the next book. I'll have 30 chapters.
Oh, cool.
And then we will conclude that book with Swaggerty's recipes.
Good deal.
Yeah. So those of the we do have some people to telephone from time to time about the book, and they seem to enjoy it. And if you purchase it, I hope that you do. Let's see if I've got time for this. Surely I have time for this. Here's Tony, and he's calling. Tony's calling from Atlanta about a dove hunt. Good morning, Tony. What do you say?
Good morning, O'Neill. How are you doing?
Good.
Well, great. I was just calling to remind everybody today is opening day for dove season in Georgia.
Yes, it is. And you can't. Opening day, you can't hunt before noon.
That's correct, but we still can get the field ready, and that's where we're headed right now, headed north, going up toward Hartwell.
Good for you. Well, that's a social occasion. That's a politically motivated time to start, because there was a politician of about 40 years ago who wanted to have a political rally before a dove hunt. So he staged the dove hunt the beginning of the season so that he could have a political gathering and lunch before the dove hunt started.
Well, we're still carrying on that tradition. We usually have a lunch and a little bit of fellowship, and of course we always try to do a safe hunt, make sure everybody's out there to enjoy the hunt. But we still carry on that tradition a little bit up here.
I don't think it was a bad one. I think it was a good one.
Oh, it absolutely was. It brings a lot of us together again, and we encourage the young folks to come out, so we try to help them to understand the safety in the hunting and to promote hunting, and we just have a really good time.
Yes, yeah, we pay our way, don't we?
Yes, sir. We always try to do that. We always do.
We absolutely pay our way.
I love having the little kids out there.
You bet. Good luck to you today, pal.
Thank you, O'Neill. You guys have a wonderful day.
You too, pal. I'll see you soon. There we go. nice little reminder about the dove hunt. Dove opening day today. Yes, ma'am.
That reminds me, we were discussing bears in the other hour, and what had brought that up was yesterday I was telling you that I had heard that if they capture for whatever reason a baby cub, the mama's gone, or whatever, that there's a place where they can be rehabilitated and set back into the wild. In other words, if they've been fed, they're still young enough that it can change
and go back to
their natural habits. But once they get grown, that's impossible. That doesn't work. And so we were talking about how much money that would cost.
Oh.
And we were talking about the fact, we pay that through our license fees.
Yes, we do.
And that's why even if you don't go out and hunt or fish, you should still buy one for the wildlife.
Everybody needs to buy a hunting and fishing license, a trout stamp, a migratory bird stamp or tag. Everybody, because that's where the money comes from, not only for game, but for wild game species. Okay? And one of the things I want to get in before our 54 break is this. The number one thing you got an upcoming deer season. The number one thing you can do to make the most of your season and keep the most deer on your lease or property that you own, put in a food plot. If you don't and your neighbor does, the deer will go there. If you put in the food plot, the deer will stay where you hunt. They have to have food and shelter. So food is part of what keeps the deer, whitetail, the does, the fawns, the bucks on your property, so that you can have the option of hunting or harvesting them or not.
Or just enjoy them.
Or just watch them walk by. That's exactly right. That's what is interesting in where Travis is in Texas. It's much more open land, and you see and you get to observe the interaction between the bucks, the old does, the young young bucks, and the old bucks. Here, because it's so wooded, you don't get to see as much of that interaction, and it is, quite frankly, fascinating. You learn an awful lot about that sort of thing, about the whitetail deer. Okay, it's almost 54 after the hour. This is O'Neill Outside, every Saturday morning on WSB and the SB Nation. We certainly have time for one more call. That's got to be Richard. He's been holding on quite a while. Thanks for holding on, Richard. What's going on with you this morning?
I heard your wife talking about dwarfs. I just wonder if they still have those dwarfs throwing contests. I think maybe they were eliminated because they thought they were too dangerous. They used to have dwarfs.
I think they're politically incorrect.
What? I'm sorry, Richard.
Dwarf throwing contest.
Oh, yeah.
Dwarf
they have dwarf throwing contests.
I know they did.
The dwarfs enjoyed it, but I don't know if that was eliminated or not.
I feel sure it probably was, because just the word. I kind of hesitated about telling that one because it is so politically incorrect to say dwarf. So I don't think they do that anymore.
No. Oh, well, it's...
I was wondering, when they have, like, scholarships, I don't know if it was on your show or where it was, but I heard there is such a thing as high school kids get scholarships to different colleges for fishing. Is there such a thing as that?
Absolutely. They're fishing team, very successful, highly competitive fishing teams, and there are scholarship offers for fishing team participants at various colleges across the country. That is correct.
Just various ones.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, there's a few of them that I heard.
Absolutely.
But I heard you talking about the Bears, and I go to this ballpark, the baseball and softball complex. Before they built the final field up there, I used to be scared to walk back from that one back into the woods because I thought bears were on top. I think that's why you just wonder where black bears or any kind of bears might be located, because I guess it might be certain areas where there's a lot of food. I don't know, but I was scared to walk back there because I figured a bear would come after me.
Well, they won't. They won't unless they have become too familiar and they are unafraid of you. Most of the time, a black bear will exit the area when he's seen you. All right, I got to go, everyone. Listen, keep this in mind. Wherever you go, whatever you do, it's Labor Day weekend. Spend it with your family. And if you're too busy to go fishing and take your family along, believe me, you're too busy. And we'll see you guys next week.